Hey Indiegogo, I'm Ben from Swine Week, a fundraising event put on by the students of Edmond Memorial High School in Edmond, Oklahoma. I want to tell you about Angels Foster Family Network, Swine Week's recipient. Angels is a private, non-profit whose goal is to put all 13,000 Oklahoma foster children into a safe and loving home, while at the same time treating traumatized kids who have been neglected, abandoned, or abused.
The foster care crisis in Oklahoma is severe. We have 12,000 kids in care. Half of those children remain with their kinship and their family members, but the other half need a foster home. So it's up to Angels to try to find foster homes for kids in Oklahoma County. Those children that are coming into care are suffering because many of them cannot find daycare. And that's a critical piece of helping an amazing working family be able to foster.
To prevent this foster crisis, Angels Foster Family Network needs our help. Their objective is to build a daycare that accepts all foster children.
The reason we want to create a daycare is because there's waiting lists in all the daycares all over Edmond, and it's really hard when a foster family works and they want to have that child in daycare. It's a child that's not school age yet, and we call to make a placement and they say, well, we can't get them into our daycare for X amount of days, months, or years, so we can't take that placement. And we don't want kids going to the shelter just because we can't put them in a daycare right away.
When we signed to take on up to 2 children, siblings, if you know that was what the need was, and that was the need. But we just couldn't make it work where we would go one place for one kid and one place for another, and then maintain, you know, drop our kids off at school as well, and then get to work. It just logistically could not work out. So, yeah, if there was a way that Angels could provide a daycare for the needs of those foster kids, I just think that would be a fabulous resource.
Most daycare facilities don't accept children because of behavioral issues caused by their maltreatment. Angels will not only take in these children, but provide them with trauma-informed therapy. We need you, our Indiegogo family, to help us exponentially exceed our $350,000 goal. Angels really needs $2 million to build a daycare from the ground up, specifically for the kids' needs. Our goal is enough to renovate a space, giving children a place to stay even sooner than building. Edmond Memorial High School is in this together. Everyone can do something, so we challenge you.
Hi, I'm Roy Williams, retired NFL player, former Sooner. If these high school students can do it, so can you.
The biggest problem with the foster care system is that a lot of the kids, they'll just, if they don't get help, if we don't put them in therapy programs or have really good foster families, they're just going to repeat the cycle with their own kids.
80% of our prison system was in foster care, and that's really striking to me, because those are kids who didn't have the opportunities that our kids are having in our agency now. They're kids who didn't get what these kids are getting. They have reactive attachment disorder, which means they don't learn how to love or bond or trust with anyone before the age of 3. They're not held, they're not loved, they're not understood, they're not having their needs met. So in turn, throughout the rest of their life, they grow up with 50% of them dropping out of high school. 50% of them have a chance of teen pregnancy. They're all looking for something to fulfill their needs.
They're going to not go to high school or college. They're not going to get married, be a contributing member of society. We are trying to break that cycle.
Kids act out only because they need something, and it's up to us as a staff to understand why they're doing it and help them through this instead of turn them away and inflict more pain on them.
These kids' lives are full of chaos every day, and if we can just provide some sense of normalcy in their everyday life just for a brief period of time, whether it be a month or 2 years, however long they may be in the system.
We have kids in our care currently some have been in 17 different daycares. They come in with trauma. They come in with really bad behaviors. They're acting out. They've been pulled away from everything that they've ever known. And they're thrown into a family they don't know. They're thrown into a daycare that they don't know. And they act out, a lot of times, some of the trauma that's been incurred on them.
We do our best to explain to the daycare what these child's needs are. The folks at Angels know. They know as much as we do, to be honest with you. And that, I just can't see how that would be extremely beneficial when coming up with a daycare.
We also have a lot of programs where we can help our families if they're having a struggle. Like our Halo program is made to get that child that's had a traumatic history in there and teach them things in a new way, and teach the families at the same time how to meet this child's needs and the child meet their, be able to work together. It's an awesome program where the kids pretty much are like a 180 from when they start to when they finish.
It's our goal to allow a child to stay in our daycare and have our staff be understanding of why they're doing what they're doing, help them with what they're doing, and also be a support for the family to get through the entire process of taking this child into their home and not moving them to another home just because they're difficult.
To raise enough money, Angels came to us, Swine Week.
Well, Swine Week started over 28 years ago when a student's younger sister was in need of a kidney transplant. And so a group of students decided that they wanted to help raise money for that girl. And they went to their principal for help, and he said, if you raise $3,000 or more, then I'll kiss a pig. And so they actually did raise, I think they raised about $5,000 for her. And so the principal kissed a pig, and that's where the name Swine Week came from.
Swine Week over the past 28 years has raised $4.2 million, and in the last 5 years alone we've raised over $2 million.
In the beginning, Swine Week sponsored one particular individual. Now Swine Week sponsors hundreds, if not thousands, of individuals through these selected charities. Angels will have the opportunity to receive the hard work and dedication of a large body of students that care so intensely and so passionately for their cause, and they get to actually see their efforts dispersed throughout every individual that participates with Angels.
Their hearts and the compassion that they have to help children within the community, and just knowing that they've put their entire heart into this process, and knowing that what it is that they want to do isn't just because it's something that has to be done. It's what they know needs to be done.
Being a foster parent is probably one of the most generous things a person can do with their life, but it's also the very most rewarding thing you can ever do.
My family and many other foster families really need this Angels Daycare.
Foster parents like myself need you, Indiegogo.
It only takes one person to make a difference, but with the entire Indiegogo community behind this project, we could change the world.
Help us make this happen, Indiegogo.